Welcome to a brand new episode of the Real Life Podcast, a member of the Nation Network of podcasts and delivered by DoorDash.
I'm guessing my math is going to be incorrect. So if you're listening to this,
Episode 348 of the Real Life Podcast, brought to you by the HGA Group, here to make your business better with their many business services. Yaremchuk, Jay, Bagged Milk, Wanye, no Chalmers. Confirmed he will not be doing a pop-in either. We got to go a whole hour without the fiery takes of Chris Chalmers. No, that'll be okay.
You know who respects people who put pride in their work? HGA.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely.
They reinforce the pride.
And there's no C in HGA for Chalmers because he wouldn't make the grade, quite frankly.
Nope.
He would never be partner grade at HGA. Chalmers with that level of pride.
so much pride.
Yep. It was weird. He said he's at an acreage. I'm like, is Chalmers the new Unabomber? What's going on?
He's avoiding the grind at an acreage. That's weird. It's a weird detail to provide. I'm at an acreage, therefore I cannot podcast.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in a rural area. Oh, odd.
Question that no one will care about listening to this podcast, but it's on my computer screen right now. For the Tourism Jasper tournament, Jay, is our team name Oilers Nation?
Yes.
Okay.
We're the Play La Bombas.
Okay.
But just because of our partnership with them, they put us as Oilers Nation so people can know exactly who we are. But we're taking to the ice as the Play La Bombas.
And those jerseys are unbelievable. I rocked one during the pregame show, Short 4 Giant pregame show the other day. They're sick.
Oh, nice. Okay, good. I should have known. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you must have not seen it. Yeah.
I didn't watch it. What was I doing? I was on Twitter. I liked the tweet. I had to do something. I'm sorry. I'm sure it was great content. I will not miss the next one.
Someone said, Yaremchuk, it looks like you're swimming in that jersey. So I will probably wear a medium, not a large, when we actually play. But yeah,
well, granted, you'll have some layers on underneath and stuff, right?
Yeah, that's a good point, I suppose.
Bulletproof vest, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we got to protect the talent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tyler, are you feeling okay today, by the way? I just want to start to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Like
unpack that game and the amount of like decisions and whatnot you could point to as to why that happened.
So I was watching the game last night. I was in my heart of hearts pulling for you, Tyler. I really was. It was so exciting to watch as somebody who didn't really give two shits about the outcome. It was very exciting. But as it was going on and as the fourth quarter was coming around in the Bills and Chiefs game, of course, we're talking about, I couldn't help but think about you, pal, and how stressful that must have been for you.
Yeah. So like my girlfriend and I, we watch every Bills game. We don't miss one all year. I wear a jersey. She has a Bills shirt. Like we sit down, we have a couple of drinks. It's a big thing for us. And we are like I'm as diehard as you can get. Like
are you wearing bottoms in this story or just jerseys? How's that?
Just jerseys.
Southern
walk around naked.
Yeah. Cool. No, you wouldn't be jersey on. Yeah, I got you. Winnie the Pooh style. Tops, no bottoms. Yeah, I got you.
Course.
So game starts. It's going okay. Everyone's playing it pretty safe. But like during the game, I kind of do the same thing every time it's a big game for them. Like we're sitting next to each other on the couch. But then whenever there's a big moment, I like to stand and get like a foot away from the TV and like stand with my hands on my hips and like stare at it. Then when they do something good, I go back, I high five Amber. I walk a couple laps around the apartment to kind of like get the steam off me. And like, I'm surprised I didn't have a neighbor come knock on my door yesterday because some of the yells I let out and then like not even pacing, it would have been like stomping at that point, just around my apartment being like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. And it was an unreal football game. And if they would have won it, it would have been one of the positive highlights of my life as a sports fan. Like that was incredible to go from
Josh Allen done.
I know, to go from 4th and 13, throwing a touchdown to go in the lead. And you're like, holy shit, they might do this. And then Tyreek scores and you're like, I'm crushed, right? Like I'm sitting there, I'm slumped into the couch. Amber's like, they got a minute. And I'm like, no, they're fucked. Like it's over. Damn it. Like all they do is not let him score on this drive. And then that next one from Davis was just unbelievable. And it's like, hey, 13 seconds. Like they can easily kill 13 seconds. And like, I actually thought like it's over. Like they're going to throw a couple passes. They're not going to get enough yards. The Bills are going to win this thing. And the field goal was crushing because their kicker was not having a good day. And I honestly thought he was going to miss it. and the overtime rules suck. And then I went to bed.
The part that I didn't.
Yeah.
Like, that's the part that bummed me out about that game is that the coin flip rules in the NFL OT are just like
so
that's rough because Josh, like Allen had a hell of a game and he didn't even get the ball back in response in OT. That blows.
Yeah. And so to go to bed, like to properly fall asleep, I had to crush 2 more beers, and I crushed a lot throughout the game. Like we hit double digits yesterday, but I had to hit a couple.
Those were medicinal.
I had to crush a couple more because I'm too upset to like fall asleep. I'll just keep thinking about this game. So I finally fell asleep. I woke up at about 3:30 because I drank so many beers I had to piss, and like went to piss. And while I'm pissing, I'm like, all right, what day is it? It's going to be Monday. What did I do Sunday? Oh yeah, the Bills fucking lost. And I didn't fall back asleep for about an hour. I just laid in bed thinking about the game. Like even today, like I got my Bills helmet behind me. I just look at it and I'm just so sad. It's very depressing.
Oh, so close. It was like, it was such a good game.
It was so fun.
But even like every game this weekend, like had a crazy story. Even if it was a boring game in Green Bay with a low scoring, like it still had drama and intensity to it. It was an interesting week.
Bucks made it interesting.
But yeah, you just, I've been to Buffalo. I've been to a Bills game. And I always like when you go to those cities, the smaller cities, and you see how much the city gets behind the team, man, you just really cheer for the people of Buffalo. And I feel for them because it was there. It was like they had it, and it just didn't work out.
And, people are texting me being like, oh man, that's a good team. Like they'll get them next year. And it's just like, that isn't even encouraging to me anymore because Kansas City's always going to be there. And like the Bills had the number 1 defense in the NFL, depending on which metrics you look at, they're top 5 in most of them, top 3 in most of them. Like they were so good and it's like, wasn't enough. Kansas City just basically picked them apart whenever they wanted to. They barely got stops. And people are like, oh man, but Josh Allen played a perfect game. Like can't ask for more than that. And it's like, no, that actually makes it sting more that he played a perfect game. They had a great defense and it still somehow was not enough to beat Kansas City. It's crushing.
They are, Kansas City is hot. They are
when they only had 13 seconds to get down the field and get a field goal to tie it up and send it to overtime. I was like, there's no way. He had to cover so much ground. Yeah. And then after the first play happened, where it was like a positive gain of plus 28 or whatever it was, I was like, oh.
But that was, you look at the game manager there. Why do you kick it through the zone? Why are you not eating? But I don't say if do an onside kick, but just like kick it to the 10.
I get that in a way.
13 seconds is 2 plays. Where 5 seconds is 1.
But what would have happened if I don't think anyone was even expecting 13 seconds. It's not even likely if you give them 2 plays.
Is about the details.
I know, but
it is about all the little details. And that's,
but what if you give him a chance to return it and he returns it to the 40 anyways, and they make 1 play to Kelsey and then they kick field goal, right? Like it's hindsight.
I know, but the, percentages, what are the percentages of a 30 or 40 yard return?
Yeah.
Very low. What are the chances of Kansas City moving the ball in 13 seconds? Very high. Even though it's not, but it's Kansas City.
I don't know. It shouldn't have even mattered. It's super depressing.
I very much, Tyler, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to post a screenshot from our real life chat group.
Yeah, do it.
Where I was just saying your name over and over again, and you were responding, knowing exactly what I was talking about. It was very entertaining for me. And I apologize to you for it, but I'm going to post it anyway.
My mom doesn't give a shit about football at all, but I guess she was watching the game and texting me, and she would have known how crushed I was. But she even said she was
crushed drunk.
That too. She messaged me at 7:20, whatever. That would have been when they took the lead. And she just said, Tyler, are you breathing, with a celebratory emoji? And then she was just sending me SpongeBob emojis.
Oh God.
And then the dagger of a text, 7:39 PM. She goes, can they lose in 13 seconds? ?
Oh my God.
Mom, this is why me and Dad don't talk.
You need to teach her how to be a sports fan. That is some jinxing things.
Yeah.
This is why we haven't hugged in 4 presidential administrations.
Oh man. But that's why sports rules, man. Sports rules.
Yeah, it's the best reality show, right? Like it was incredible, and every game this weekend was unreal.
Highs and lows.
I would have won so much fucking money if the Bills would have held on.
So
points on the Rams yesterday. Very happy with that decision, and I was heavy on the Bengals. Too. Very happy with that decision. Good weekend for me. And I went heavy on the Oilers. I figured, fuck it, they're going to win. The math is on our side. They're going to find a way. Big betting weekend for me.
That win we all collectively needed that win on Saturday so badly. And to have it come against the Flames and the way it did, Mikko standing on his head. Come on.
Yeah. Drive 5 million points.
Even the players on the ice,
couple of boozers.
You could feel the relief on those guys when they're going to hug Mikko and all that.
Hug, open mouth kisses. It was beautiful.
That's what I would be doing too. Just everybody's open mouth kissing in the dressing room after that.
But you know what's odd, and I regret for bailing. I don't know why, but when we went down 2-0, I was like, I still feel like I actually felt like we were going to win. We're down 2-0 like 4 days ago. I'm like, we're toast. But for some reason, I don't know. I felt they were going to pull it off even down there, and they just gutted it out.
And I kind of had the feeling too, where it was like something eventually has to go right here. Like shit cannot continually go as wrong as it has for as long as it did. So same thing. Yeah, they were down 2-0. I didn't go back and live bet them because I had enough on them to win in regulation that I was like, fuck, it's a miracle if that ends up hitting. I don't need to lay more.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really, really fun game on Saturday night.
And then we with a decimated roster.
Yeah.
It was all guts, all glory.
And it was one of those ones where there's a lot of stories to feel good. Like Connor and Leon both got on the board, needed that. Multi-point night for both of those guys. Leon went supernova. Mikko, I was incredibly happy for Koskinen because when those first two went out, you're like, okay, well, it's not like they're not working hard. Here's hoping, like Tyler said, that something turns around in their favor. But to see Mikko stand on his head through the final 40, like I was pretty pumped for him. And to see him awkwardly sitting there post game while Draisaitl gave him some love and talk about how much it meant for them to play hard for him, that was very fun too. So, man, we all needed that one.
First intermission when the Sportsnet guys were talking in like hushed positive tones. Remember when they showed Mikko's eyes through his mask? I was like, oh my God, we're like, they're not even mocking us anymore. They're like coming to the defense of the mental stability of our starting goalie. And I tweeted something and Elliot Friedman liked it.
Nice.
I was like, oh no, it wasn't nice. It was like Sportsnet knows that Edmonton's beyond fuck. And then he liked it. And I was like, oh no. And then to pull out a
lucky
win.
Like though.
All is forgiven. I don't even know how he found it. I didn't tag them.
Friedman, like whenever people will respond to Friedman or tweet stuff being like, her Friedman, my wife's sleeping with the plumber upstairs or shit like that, he'll like it like a pretty consistent amount of the time. It's pretty fucking funny. He's like in with the bit. He talked about that on the rundown, I think, when we had him on. I think that was the podcast he said it on.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, where he was like, oh, yeah, people are always tweeting me about like, Elliot is my wife leaving me. And he was like, I think it's pretty funny.
Yes, she is. If you have to ask the question, I'll quote Craig McTavish.
Yeah.
Well, another good thing is like Bush better have cemented himself as the power play quarterback.
It's almost like it was a good idea this whole time.
Like it's crazy in a team with no options, the hills to die on for Coach Tippett sometimes.
Right?
Like, don't you want to try to restart things? What the fuck, buddy?
You know what? Go ahead.
The way Bouchard, like him on the power play, he walks the line better than anybody else. He finds ways to get pucks through traffic. His shot is an absolute bomb. It just makes so much sense to see him score 2 goals in a matter of 4 minutes on the power play. It was the best.
It was good just to see the power play clicking again that. Even without Nuge, they were pulling it off.
Yeah, and that was
scores after being a beacon of light last week. It's just
rainbows and clouds, baby. We're back.
There were some good vibes after that one.
Well, and I saw like Tippett kind of went against his normal. Like he was rewarding the guys that were going with ice time. Like he moved McLeod up because he was buzzing around the ice. Put Perlini back, but Perlini does what he does. You get the puck on his stick and he's going to fire it. And sure as shit, he's continuing this like quasi heater he's been on during this slump. Which is impressive.
I saw a tweet about Perlini. His dad played hockey overseas somewhere. Like I almost want to say in England or some shit.
England, that's
his brother's on the team now and like lighting the world on fire.
His
and
brother plays in Norway.
Well, the tweet was blah blah blah. Perlini just scored, just like his dad, who's a machine. And then somebody tagged Vicky Perlini, the mom, who we follow. And I was like, wow, there's a team somewhere in the world that has 2 other Lamborghini Perlinis. These guys have it in their genomes to light the lamp.
His dad, they said it on the broadcast, or they said it on the hot stove or whatever. His dad, he played for the Leafs for a little bit before he went and played in Europe. And he got called up to play for the Leafs, but during the day he was playing in, I don't know, was it junior? In a junior or an AHL game that day, scored a hat trick, got called up that night for the Leafs and scored again.
What?
Yeah.
What year was this? Like how long ago did he play?
Oh, this is in the like early 80s, I think, or late 70s or something like that. I remember I thought that was kind of a cool stat. The one thing, Perlini is an interesting cat. Like I love his positivity and the fact that he's got like a refreshed outlook on life of being a professional hockey player and not trying to let the bad days drag him down, because it's very easy to do so when you're in that position. So I thought that was good. It was a good interview if anyone watched the after hours with him.
He's got it. He's got the right headspace.
Definitely got the right headspace.
Yeah, I hope he's like a talkative guy, and like, you know, the guys in the
does he have the weight though? Like,
room.
If a guy like that talked all the time in a negative room on a losing streak, would they be like, shut the hell up? Or do you think that sometimes guys like that, they have the juice to pull off being mouthy?
It's tough to, I don't know if like you can just like, I think you get tuned out, like the super competitive ones, be like, shut up, like yours. But I just think like he might just be fun to hang around. Loosen things up. Like, okay, like it's not like have him stand up in the middle of the room like, hey guys, like, everything is awesome. Like, no, but like let's go for dinner and just like talk into his world for a little bit and like just like be loose. Like I feel like that's where you could be. God, I hope we still make some changes here just a little bit. We've got to get tougher. Like I just like Rasmus Anderson drives me fucking up the wall, and he just comes into Edmonton and just thinks he can do whatever the fuck he wants against our best players, take liberties wherever he wants, and just feel safe about it. And it drives me up the wall.
Yeah, it didn't help too.
Rasmus
that
Anderson can't be the one who is flexing on us, because if you flex on him, he will shrivel because his nuts are made of raisins.
Raisin nuts.
Overall, though, I didn't think it was that spicy of a Battle of Alberta, really.
Not really, no.
No, it wasn't too spicy.
It's kind of the Oilers brand as of late.
If it gets
spicy, just give us all a W.
Make it spicy, and you probably beat us. That's what the game notes say.
Yeah. But yeah, impressive. They beat Calgary, who granted isn't playing great hockey as of late.
They just beat Florida.
But everyone in the Pacific is kind of just sputtering along right now. But you beat them without Nuge, without Hyman. I mean, I guess you were missing Barry as well, but that ended up being a blessing in disguise. No Cassian either. So to be missing a handful of regulars and still get the job done is really impressive. Like that was a solid win in my books. And if they're going to pick a time to start having the bounces go their way and start to play some really good hockey, this is as good of a week to do it, right? You got a game against Vancouver, you got Montreal, you got Ottawa, Nashville sandwiched in there. But this next 7 days, you play 3 teams who aren't very good and you're on the road for them. And then you play 1 home game against a good team, but like, hopefully they can go on a bit of a run here.
Yeah, so you got Saturday, tomorrow, which is Tuesday, you got Vancouver, and then you got Thursday is Nashville, Saturday Montreal, and then Monday is Ottawa. So you got to get some points done here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got games in hand. So like if we get some wins here and catch up, we'll climb right back up the ladder, no problem.
Need to take advantage of those games in hand for sure, especially like looking at these next 4 games.
Because it's the following week after that too that we kind of get into a bit of a gauntlet, right? So,
well, yeah, because February is a very heavy month. It's almost like a game every couple of days. There's 2 sets of back-to-backs in February as well, so it's a very, very busy month.
So, do we have an update on Nuge? Is he out for obviously LTIR? What's that?
He skated today. He's practicing. You could play them.
They put them on LTIR, but that's retroactive, right? Is that how that works?
So based on my understanding, because people were helping me out on Twitter, it's once you pass, I think it's 2 weeks. Again, don't quote me on this because I don't understand how the cap works. You can get put on retroactive LTIR, which is what they did with Nuge. But the interesting one is, again, Mike Smith going on IR and Dave Tippett saying on Friday he's not close. So the saga continues, unfortunately, for Mike Smith.
Well, LTIR him and get us a goalie.
Yeah, but I mean, the problem with that is if Smith's injury, is only going to keep him out another month and a half, let's say.
That's not what I heard.
Kucherov him.
Yeah.
But like
Joffrey Lupul, congratulate him for snowboarding.
I'm heard the injury is as serious as we need it to be.
Oh dear. But he's going to be okay, I heard too.
Yeah.
You have to be sure, right? If you're going to LTIR him and actually use the cap space, you got to be able to finagle your way around it if he comes back a month early, right?
Well,
I'd be like, Mike Smith, I like your approach to life. I like that you're an Oiler. The best thing you can do is stay hurt.
Well, maybe, or stay healthy and, play good again. But
you can't ask a guy to stay healthy who's getting hurt all the time. You can't ask a guy to stay hurt who's now healthy again. That's a little coaching tidbit for you there, your Remchek. Yeah. Maybe you can tell the Bills.
Fuck. Why you got to do that to me?
I thought you'd be happy I made a football joke. I was telling your Remchek before the show. I'm like, your Remchek, I was watching a show on the Belarusian economy last night, and I clicked into Twitter to see what was going on, and all I saw was people shitting on you. I didn't know what game was playing. I didn't know anything about anything. But the minute I saw how much crap you were taking online, I knew the Bills had done something.
I was asking for thoughts and prayers for your Remchuk, to be fair. I feel like you needed them last night.
I did. It would have been nice to have like a really good feel good moment. Like I would have been on cloud 9 today, man. All week it would have been unreal. When they went up by 13, when they went up with 13 seconds left and they showed what times the games were next week, I was like, fuck, they play Sunday at 1:00. That's going to be right when we're driving back from Jasper. So in my head, I was already like, okay, I'm gonna have to make sure my phone's in the console, turned off, nothing on the radio. And then when I get home, Amber and I can watch it together on like a tape delay. Like that'll work out. And then
just like your mom, you got way too ahead of yourself, man. You can't do that.
Yep.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
Yep. Right before the horse, bro.
Classic. Kind of like us a month ago when we were talking about the Oilers being a playoff team. But
How
fuck.
How dare you? You're still gonna make playoffs.
As critical as we are, and trust me, we need to fix our flaws because we have to be a team that can go deeper than be deeper than what we are. They're still a playoff team in my mind. I can't see how they're not.
It'll be tight. So like right now you need to catch, because I think there's going to be 5 that get in from the Central. Like I just think, Central's good. Deep. So you look right now, you got Vegas at 50 points in 41 games. So if Edmonton wins all of their games in hand, they would be 2 back of Vegas. Yeah. The Oilers are 7 points back of LA and Anaheim with 5 and 6 games in hand on the 2 of those. So if you go, 4-2 in that stretch or 4-1 in that stretch, you're going to catch both of those teams. San Jose, 5 games in hand, 4 points back. That shouldn't be an issue. Calgary has a game in hand on you and they're 2 points up, which is why that win on Saturday was huge. Big 4-point swing.
Yeah. You need big wins against the Pacific, like all year. It's got to be one of those ones where that you're buttering your bread with Pacific.
Well, and our record against the Pacific is actually pretty good still, all things considering.
Yep.
So we got to keep that rolling.
But yeah, I mentioned the Pacific floundering right now. We talked about it today on the Daily Faceoff show. Like in the last 10 games, Vegas has 4 wins. LA has 6, but that's the best of the div. Anaheim only has 3, San Jose 4, Calgary 3. We have 3, Vancouver 4, Seattle 3. Like it's so mediocre right now.
We're heating up. Exactly. Stay mediocre. We'll wake up. Let's go. When's Hyman back? Hyman's back for tomorrow, right?
Could he be?
He should be. Yeah, I think he should be.
Was he skating? I thought he wasn't skating.
He was in COVID protocol. And I don't remember what I don't know what the rules are. Is it 5 days now?
I honestly don't even know what the rules are either. I'm gonna.
But like if you get Hyman back, you get Nuge back. Hopefully, starting to get a little bit healthy here. Now maybe Papa Boosh gets some time on the power play after he's shown that he can actually do it. Maybe let's start building something here. Let's get the snowball rolling the other way.
You want to roll a snowball uphill?
That's right. And then we push it down the hill the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find who was tweeting the lines today. Was Nugent Bowman, I think, right? All right.
Dailyfaceoff.com.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know any other place I got a lineup at dailyfaceoff.com.
But it was just practice lineups. Anyways, Cal, go to
All
Daily Faceoff and see if we updated them.
Jason Gregor, Oilers Nation.
Yep. And known cheese aficionado. Also, I learned
big cheese guy, big coconut Gouda guy, as
big coconut Gouda
according to Better Late Than Never.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Oilers lines today via Daily Faceoff. I'm on the website. Don't worry. McDavid with Yamamoto and McLeod. I like that they're giving McLeod more minutes and giving him a chance because he's been flying. He's been really good now for like a couple weeks.
He's got wheels.
Yeah, and he can handle the puck.
Yep.
You know what I'd like with him though, while you're looking this up, Tyler, is we need to lock him in a cage a little bit and poke him with a stick. If he just had a little bit of mean in him, with wheels like that, I'm not saying
he likes to be Ryan Smith, but he's missing the grit component.
Yeah.
Not to say Smitty was fast, but
I think if he had a little bit of that in there, that would go a long way. Like as a guy like Tyler Benson's trying to reinvent himself as a pest a little bit, if you could get some of that from Ryan McLeod, that would go a long, long way.
Yeah, like Benson, whatever. All things like
he's been trying.
He's trying. And like if he's due for a goal. Like
I want him to get one too.
He's creating.
He doesn't play a whole lot, but I think he's trying to make plays and he's shooting pucks on net. Man, I want him to get that first one because maybe the floodgates will open a little bit for him.
I was at the game against Florida on Thursday, and there was a play.
How'd that one go?
Yeah, not great. It was one of the few times in my life I've ever left a game early. But there was a play in front of the Florida net where Benson just kind of came in and he gave like a little chicken wing elbow to the back of the head of one of the Florida defensemen. And the guy kind of like looked up and Benson just kind of stared at him like, yeah. And I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. Like you can tell he's trying to get under the skin. It just doesn't come naturally for him. But I think he kind of knows that that's a role he can play.
Though that guy needs support because I don't know if he's got a career fight in junior or anything.
He's never had to. Yeah.
Yeah. So that guy needs some support. That's the thing. We just got to get tougher. We got to get a little tougher.
That's what I mean. Just lock him in a cage a little bit. Just poke him. Just
But you looked at the size difference between Calgary and I. It was astonishing how much bigger they are than us. And Zadorov taking a run at our big tough guy, but like also our elite defenseman. Like, where's the count? Like, you don't also want
interference play on that.
Yeah,
Darnell didn't even touch the fucking puck, but you still
should have been a penalty, but the hit was still made, and like.
The one that irritated me was when Tkachuk gave a nice whack on McDavid, kind of like after the play.
Yeah.
How is no one just being like, nope, you don't get to do that to him? Like I get it was a love tap. It wasn't that hard.
Everybody in the pile. That's what we need.
Yeah.
No deterrent. Everyone just comes in and does what they want with us physically. Take that as you will.
Yeah. That's one of those ones where everybody has to be in the pile after something like that happens.
Yeah. Like
make your first punch and drop kick,
No.
I like that he's being gritty, but he's not going to go solve that problem.
Anyways, McLeod up on the top line. I actually don't really like that. I think I'd prefer to. I don't mind that he's getting rewarded, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, that guy is actually kind of the key to us having a third line that can score and generate offense. I don't know if I love just strapping him next to McDavid.
Well, but this is just patchwork with the the instruments that we've got. Like he should be on our third line making it fly. Like so, that's just like I would. Like, I guess, like, obviously there's issues to Perlini's game that I'm not too privy to. Like, I got to start maybe paying an ISO camming and paying more attention to it. But like, the guy can shoot the fucking puck. Like, that should be 97 shooter, right? But obviously there's some other elements there, and he can skate.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
They did have Nugent Hopkins centering Cassian and Perlini today at practice.
See, I'm curious about that too. Like, why we never stack those three up?
I think maybe you can now with a guy like Perlini rolling and with McLeod.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
Just know that if they put a V player with McDavid and Perlini, it'd be an MVP line. A little something to think about there, Ken.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? MVP, who could be an MVP line?
Mike Vernon.
Nobody. Yep. Wow. Ted Vernon, his kid, who's in the NHL.
Oh, fuck.
Ted Vernon.
Edmontonian at Burn Fiddler.
I was, again, at the game Thursday, and the guys behind me, with games going on, and Owen Tippett, I think it was when he hit the post, and the guys behind me go, God, it must be cool for Dave Tippett to be coaching his kid. And I was this close turning around and being like, nope, not true. But then I was like, you know what? They don't care.
There's so much wrong with that statement.
I know.
Yeah, it was
Coaching
like-
his kid. It's not his kid. He's not playing on the same team as Tippett.
It's not his
So
kid.
they said like coaching against his kid or whatever.
Oh,
they said,
coaching
but,
against.
yeah,
Okay.
but and then
No,
they
it's
went
not.
on. They had like a
It's not his
conversation
kid,
about
though.
it.
Hold on, it's not his kid.
No, they're not related.
They're not related.
No.
Twitter told me they were related. Well, tricked again. There you are. Carry on.
Official Oilers Nation getting duped.
Always.
Into,
I believe everything on Twitter. I'm like, oh yeah. Someone I said, did a Tippett just score and end another Tippett's career? And they're like, that's his kid. Hey, I'm like, no way. Well, there you go.
it is not his kid. Owen Tippett is from Peterborough, Ontario, and Dave Tippett is
Saskatchewan.
I don't want to.
Saskatchewan boy, yeah.
I don't want to give you the lecture on the birds and the bees, your Chuck, but you can be born in one province and have a kid in another. I don't want to get into detail as to how, but trust me, you can. Well, there's no way it's his kid. He was born one province over. I don't think that precludes him from being his kid.
All those kids I've got out there in overseas, they don't count. Yeah. London, Ontario, those kids don't count.
Here, your Chuck. I'll flip the script for you. I shout out to Santa Claus for bringing me the ultimate Edmonton trivia book this year.
Yep.
Emil Tiedemann, I Heart Edmonton on social media. Jay, I will quote from this like a Bible. Page 136, question 55, the ultimate Edmonton trivia book. Which local cafe is situated in a small brick building from 1903 in Riverdale? Question mark. Do you know the answer?
Better know the answer.
We did it. We're in the trivia book.
Okay, so it is Little Brick. Okay.
It's Little Brick, man. We made
I thought there was some other cafe like from 1903 that I didn't know about. I was getting misled.
Transcends. No, it's us. We're a question in the trivia book.
That's the pinnacle of achievement is
For real, man.
having trivia named
I
after
look
you.
at this book, which is extraordinarily well written. There's 700 questions about Edmonton, and I like to think your boy Wanye knows a lot about Edmonton. There's a ton of stuff in here I did not know at all, but I did know question 55, which was Little Brick. Secondly, did you know what's the quarterback from Kansas City?
Patrick Mahomes.
He lived in Edmonton. Did you know that?
What?
His dad played briefly for the Trappers. He was Expos property.
Yeah.
And he lived here when he was 9 years old.
Really?
How's that grab you?
Wow.
Third shocking fact. David Bowie once got drunk at the Yardbird Suite. He had a concert in town and he went there and got shit-faced.
Nice. I always
And he-
there's a few stories. I heard there of Eddie Vedder playing what's that bar in the basement? It's on Hudson's White Ave. There's like a basement bar there.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what it was called then, but I heard that he showed up and performed there.
What? Just randomly when they were already
I
big?
guess he does that. Yeah, I just came and performed. Like it's like a little dive music bar. I can't remember what it was called then, but I remember.
One of Nirvana's first times playing most of their first album was in Edmonton. They were
Really?
on tour here 6 months before their album dropped. It was one of the first.
Nevermind.
Yeah, it was one of the first times they'd done a bunch of their music, like for that album, was in Edmonton.
That's cool.
It is
Their album
cool.
before. Never mind.
Oh, Bleach.
I don't know. Was there?
Bleach. Yeah.
Bleach.
I could picture it. I just couldn't remember the name.
Yeah, Bleach.
There's some Nirvana for you.
Now, Jay, here's the other one I found. Page 108. Which Edmonton news anchor is also a rock musician who has an
everybody
album
knows this one.
titled
for
Something
the
Wrong?
bonus, name the band.
Hold on. They break it right down. So, which Edmonton news anchor is also a rock musician who has an album titled Something Wrong, 1997? Is it A, Vinesh Pratap, B, Josh Clausen, C, Courtney Terry, or D, Gord Stanky? Your Chuck?
Gord.
Born in
Go
North
there.
Battleford, Gord
Gord.
Stanky got his start in print in Regina before moving into radio and television. He spent
Gord.
time in Minneapolis
Oh,
before moving to Edmonton in 1992 to join ITV. He has also played music on the side and published a book, Mobsters and Rum Runners of Canada. I'm telling you, man, this ultimate Edmonton trivia book, the shit.
I look forward to you just bringing us a few of these every episode.
We're going to use them on Noodle Noodle. Don't kid yourself. The first thing I saw when I got this in my stocking was, we're going to tweet some of these. It's
That's
great.
cool. Of course, Stanky, big motorcycle guy too, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
oh yeah.
And his
Josh Claus-
band, for the bonus points, do you know his band, your Chuck?
No.
Jay knows his band. He said two bands.
Oh, he's in two. I don't know the second.
Well, Hidden Agenda, you know, everything doesn't last forever. You know how it is with these rockers.
Have they broke up Hidden Agenda, or is
I don't know if they broke up or just gone on hold, but he had some other band. I can't remember, but they haven't performed in a while due to you know what.
Pandemic.
Hidden Agenda. There's an album cover with Gore to the bass standing in an ocean, I believe. If that doesn't make you want to listen, I don't know what does. Stanky got me though. I love him, but he's truly is our local anchor man. He'll say anything on the teleprompter. Recently, when they were doing the old you know what update, he goes, and blah, blah, blah are in the hospital. And wow, the positivity rate's up to 40.3%. Like he was reporting like a beautiful day's temperature coming up on the horizon. I was like, damn you, Stanky. Your inflections are all off.
Maybe he's just trying to make it positive because it's been
But it was like, wow, we did it. Like we did not. But yes. It'd be hard to beat him every day.
Completely bamboozled by the fact and caught him off guard. That's what I'm
He's just waiting for Hidden Agenda to reassemble and go on world tour. And he can't.
My man
He
just
has
wants to
sleeve
get on his
tattoos.
motorcycle.
He has 2 sleeve tattoos. Did you know that, Gord Stanky? He does.
You know, Jeff Merrick is like fully tatted up too. Hockey Central.
Really?
Yeah. He's got a bunch of tattoos. I think he's got full sleeve on one arm.
Really? He doesn't look like a tattoo guy.
Yeah, he really doesn't. But I think I follow him on Instagram. That's where I would have seen it. But yeah, he's a big tattoo guy.
Wow. I love guys. Like, that's a very rare in this day and age that you'll see somebody who you didn't realize was all gangster. Gordon Stanky, you'd never guess.
No.
And then he pulls up to Blues on White in a Harley Davidson for a late night Hidden Agenda concert. And you're like, good God. Different man altogether.
All right. Before we keep going on, need to give some love to our friends at DoorDash. Wait, sorry.
Ding dong.
Ding dong.
Ding dong. Isn't that a cool little button?
Oh my God. Now I see the photo of Jeff Merrick and it makes it. I'm like, okay, he does look like a guy with sleeves.
He does?
He's got.
I think he's like a secret identity double agent guy. He's got 2 whole personalities in one case.
And like he actually, I didn't realize how much he flaunts this thing on his Instagram. But yeah, it's like all over his Instagram.
Man, when you got a full sleeve, baby, you got to show that off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in that now, all of a sudden I'm like, he looks like a completely different person in that photo. I'm like, okay, yeah, the sleeves make sense. Interesting.
You know, I have a tattoo. Hey, you're Chuck. It's actually 14 tattoos you can't normally see. Did you know that about me?
No, I did not know that about you.
It's a series of arrows that point directly at my groin.
Yeah, just a big
sometimes
set
when
of
I'm out and about,
on his inner
Come
thighs.
on.
You know what I'm saying? Pre-lockdowns, I'd be out and about in a mankini. 14 arrows point at the old you know what. It's called advertising, Chuck. You might want to look it up. Might want to look it up.
That's how one markets themselves, Tyler.
That's how you get out there. You know what I'm saying? In these streets.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I was talking about DoorDash.
Ding dong.
That was actually Frank Saravalli's request for the DFO rundown was to have this put onto the board.
DoorDash loves it.
Yep. Did you see that you can get like PetSmart and stuff on DoorDash now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Can you get an animal via DoorDash?
Yep.
Could I order a puppy? Could I order a puppy through?
No.
Oh.
You can order dog food.
Treats for your puppy.
Or for yourself.
Fast food for your puppy. So McDonald's.
You're suggesting people
drive-thru.
eat dog food, your Chuck? That's the DoorDash ad this week?
In Canada, you have to be able to eat the dog food.
What do you mean?
It has to be in Canada. It has to be fit for human consumption. There's a little dog food fun fact there for you, Tyler.
So if you're in a pinch,
If I'm in a pinch, I'll just grab a handful of Frank's kibble, pop it in my mouth because it's both nutritious and delicious.
you know, if they're out of Itchy Band.
Mm-hmm. It's a complete
What's
diet.
funny about Itchy Band? Speaking about groceries, this is for better late than never.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since the pandemic, I have not been able to find a bag of Itchy Band.
This is the exact thing I need on that podcast.
It's stressful. I love. So like, and there's another conversation to have around flavors of Itchy Band, but I am
Sapporo Itchy Band brand noodles.
Yes, I am a chicken Itchy Band guy. I'm the green package, but I swear every week I don't go to the grocery store every week, but anytime I go there, I'm like, hey man, I got to get some Itchy Band.
Mm-hmm.
And the shelf, like there's all like Mr. Noodles galore,
Garbage.
and all the other ones garbage.
Terrible.
But the Itchy Band always just a giant hole. And they don't like it's either they get it and someone buys it all out immediately under my nose, or they just aren't restocking it and just are totally happy with this giant gaping hole in the shelf. that was.
I agree.
You're offended both as a Ichiban aficionado and a former Safeway employee in charge of facing shelves, aren't you?
Well, you want your shelves looking good.
You want to look full.
I
Empty
find
shelf is not sexy.
Not
the
a
same
look.
thing with my Nongshim kimchi noodles, dry noodles that I buy. Those are also in short supply, and it's driving me crazy.
So I went totally off the grid here, and I got some random. I think this is like a Korean spicy noodle. I don't know the brand. I just saw it. It caught me. I like the packaging.
Mm-hmm.
And it came in a 5-pack, so I'm gonna try it because like just once in a while, I just crave that like extremely monosodium infused broth.
The best.
Boys, I don't want to scare you. I haven't seen Flutie Flakes on the shelves. And
What about Fantu's flakes? If you want to get even deeper.
Fantu's Flakes. Was that actually made?
Yeah.
Saskatchewan. Oh yeah.
Jesus, Murphy.
Flew off the shelves.
I'm surprised they haven't done like a new 2022 version of Pro Stars, the cereal specifically.
That is
So
true.
who would you have? Who would be? So okay. So actually, this is
Connor.
yeah. But 1 second. So you know how like there's the Mount Rushmore of what's the Mount Rushmore of this topic? What is the Pro Stars? Because it always featured athletes from different disciplines. So you can maybe that's what is the 2022 Pro Stars?
The tough one is going to be the Bo Jackson hole because you don't have any multi-sport athletes at that level.
Well, you're right.
At that level,
I'd go Ohtani because he's a pitcher and a batter, and he's a crazy good batter. He's like Bo Jackson power, and he's Cy Young pitcher. I feel like he should be a Pro Star. Who would you put as your football player?
Mahomes, probably.
Not Josh Allen.
Well, I'd love to see Josh Allen, but probably Mahomes.
Okay, Mahomes.
Probably one of the Paul brothers.
Yeah, 2022. Yeah,
he was one of the
fucking
highest paid
boxing.
athletes.
Well,
They can rap and box.
he's making boxing relevant again. And then for basketball, is it LeBron or is there something?
I think you do LeBron just based solely on name recognition.
Yeah.
Everybody knows LeBron.
Or you go with one of the young up and comers, like a Jean Morant.
Steph Curry, maybe.
Curry would be a good one. He's likable.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
But I'm surprised though. There's no 2022 version of Pro Star. Get on. Or else we'll
Every
do it
other
for you.
idea has been recycled.
Yeah, why not?
They should
Exactly.
be. And in the cartoon, it's a whole thing. It's a lifestyle. You get the Pro Stars. There's like blankets. It was a whole.
They're sitting on it. They're waiting. Don't kid yourself. They're waiting for Connor Bedard or something.
an NFT or something.
Yeah.
Pro Stars NFT. Pro Stars NFT cereal you eat in the metaverse. Metaflix.
I watched a 12-minute documentary about metaverse like structure and like how it's set up and shit. It's pretty cool, man. I won't lie. There's like
Super cool.
clubs you can go into where there's like real performances going on. Like it looks kind of wonky, but imagine they're talking about like exclusive content in the metaverse. So imagine you went to a concert in the metaverse and heard a new song you'd never heard outside the metaverse.
That's
They're
what
going to trick a lot of motherfuckers into the metaverse. With this
man,
shit.
Donda 2, watch it. I'm predicting it now. Donda 2's, it won't be doing the arena previews this time. It's going to be doing it in the metaverse.
Oh,
Just
that's
watch.
so Kanye for sure.
It's going to happen.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's like hearing about Skynet for the first time. Like, oh, okay. So what, they're going to put up a bunch of satellites and robots to keep us safe? That doesn't sound too bad of a, wait a minute.
So is the only way to access the metaverse? This is now okay boomer segment of the podcast.
Not at all.
Is it through VR? Is that the only way?
Yeah. So what they want is their own. It's like when the internet first started and they're like, you're going to go to msn.com to do your shopping and your news and your this and your that. And in reality, you may have gone to 10 different websites for that, but they tried to be an all in one. Facebook wants to own the metaverse and that you look at it through Oculus Rift, but it's going to be like open sourced, probably, where there's just like the internet isn't really owned by anyone. That's probably what happens with the metaverse, but it's more just like the idea that you would go through some sort of VR into an immersive experience, right? So like Microsoft bought Blizzard Activision, the video game company, last week
that
for
goes within Sandbox.
quintillion dollars. Yeah. They're like, this is going to be more of a metaverse game where you're going to be wearing VR and doing all this crazy shit.
So will it look like real life? Like when you be walking around the metaverse, it'll look like real life. You'll go and buy a ticket to a concert.
Yeah. Right now, a lot of it looks like you're in Wii Sports lobby.
Yeah. So imagine like right now it is a bit wonky for sure, right? But imagine it just continues to improve. Like when I see the NBA games now and shit on ads, it's very close to real life, like very close. And I feel like the metaverse is going to get there too. Then you got to ask yourself, maybe we're already in one. The arguments they were making for the metaverse are really interesting. Like you can't have a drought. You can't have real violence. You can't have like anything bad happen to anybody. You could go and feel like you're really at a Travis Scott concert in the metaverse. And there's people everywhere and they're real people. They're just also in the metaverse, right? You think about all the time we spend on Twitter talking to Oilers fans we've never in our real lives met. It's not that far away to go to an Oilers game in the metaverse and feel like you're in an Oilers game, but there's like a million people feeling like they're at the game. And in reality,
watching an actual hockey game, or
you're watching the hockey game.
There's
so that's a way to bring like turn a stadium that holds 20,000 to hold
into infinity. Infinity.
Fuck, we're gonna be back at pay-per-view, aren't we?
Man, like,
everybody could feel like
cash in on that.
Yeah, everybody could feel like they were at center field at row 10 at any game, and they're watching the actual game.
Yeah, I want to be on the
dog pound at every Browns game.
Well, I want to be the camera, though. You know that the NFL has that camera that zips along the field. I want to be on there. That's where I want to be.
Oh, that
following over top.
I feel like you'd probably vomit.
That's okay. I'm in.
But that's like what could be so seductive about this, right? Is like imagine right now you could go down into your basement and sit down in your chair and go play Pebble Beach, pretty much for real in the metaverse. And you can shoot one under par and
without breaking anything in your house. Like you're just swinging a club.
You're not even swinging a club. You're like in the metaverse swinging a club, right? So it's not virtual golf because you're swinging a club in the real life and hitting into a screen. You're like in a video game, right? Shooting with a gun, or you're in a video game swinging a club at Pebble Beach. But imagine you could play Pebble Beach with the augmented skill set of a game character, right? So in real life, you're like, oh, I shoot fucking 40 over par every day. But you go in the metaverse, you play Pebble Beach with brand new equipment, shoot one under. Why would you want to do shit for real?
The metaverse is going to give me the opportunity to be the rock star I never was as a kid. So I'll be playing guitar with fucking Van Halen or something in front of a stadium full of people. It'll be the best.
I was at this VR demonstration one time, and it was like Samsung VR equipment. And I put this helmet on. And it was made with Mexico City soccer content. So they made it with this team. And it felt like you were standing. Now, look, imagine, it doesn't really feel like you're standing. It's still a bit wonky, but you were on the sidelines watching a goal. And the guy who was demoing it for me goes, now look to your right. And I looked to my right with the helmet on. And the coach gave me like a thumbs up from the sidelines. I was like, damn, this is way better than watching a game on TV. If you continue to imagine it improves and improves, they could create crazy experiences in the metaverse that you could never hope to replicate in real life. And that's when you could see people putting on helmets and never leaving.
How would you eat?
You don't need to.
Yeah, I'll just have a pipe
right?
in my mouth at all times.
Well, you just plug into a feeding machine and just get deep into the...
Just like in the Matrix, man. You're like, shit, why don't I just eat really healthy? And in the metaverse, I can smash cheeseburgers all day long. But in real life, I'm just eating protein paste.
There's some very funny, like early iterations of metaverse games where there's one that was on making its way around Instagram the other day on some of the accounts I follow, where you can pretend grocery shop in this one game where you're just basically playing with Oculus. So
is there Itchy Band?
Probably
Itchy Band. But what people are doing is they're taking groceries off the shelves and throwing them at each other and like taking the carts and smashing into people. It sounds like a good time.
But think about it fundamentally, Jay, where you're just a kid's like, Wanya Jr.'s like, Dad, why would I want to watch the Oilers game where they lose 4-1, where I can go into the metaverse and watch an alternate Oilers game where they win 10-1?
Because it's not real.
Like, but they don't care. It's funner. Real is like what old people want. What younger people are going to want is the optimized experience. Like, I can just go ski moguls all day long. I don't have to learn shit, but it's not real. It's real to me.
But that like drains any meaning out of it, right? Like,
but it's real to me.
But how do you get it this way? Think about it this way, Tyler. I tell my old man that I've got whatever I got, 12,000 followers on Twitter. Yeah. But that to him, that's not real. He doesn't give two thunderous fucks.
If I'm playing a video game of basketball and I win a game against some clown online, it's real to me that I just won. Oh, who gives a shit if you won a game of basketball in a video game? It's not real. It's real to me.
Yeah,
It'll
but
get
like
weird.
But like that is different than just being like, I want to watch an Oilers game where they win exactly 6-2, or they win every single time, and just like sitting there and watching that. Like it wouldn't be the same. Same thing with like the golf. Same thing with like the golf analogy of like, you can go play Pebble Beach and shoot 1 under and it'll look and feel realistic, but it's like, okay, but if it's like easy, like that's, I mean, I don't know.
The only thing I'd want to augment for an Oilers game in the metaverse is no P lines and $5 beers.
Rexall Place beer back for sure. I would have in the metaverse. I would love to go to a metaverse Oilers game from Rexall Place in 2004 and have it feel real and smash those beers.
Yeah, 100%. I'd like to sit at my chair or my seat at Rexall Place or Rogers Place and have my beers go whoop in my hand.
Yes.
That's what I'm like.
Yes.
Pop out of my seat. I'm in.
But I want to watch present day Oilers play a game with those day Oilers, and I want it to feel insanely real. That's the best Oilers game of all time. Other than a real one.
I also want more things to advance. Like, remember when Google Glass, they were trying to figure that out a bunch of years ago? I want that shit too, where if I'm wearing my glasses, which I do wear glasses, I can look around and I can see your like stats and shit.
Yeah, like Terminator.
That's what I want. Exactly like Terminator.
Well,
maybe one day you'll be shopping for Twig and Berries in the metaverse. Twigandberries.ca, promo code Nation15 gets you 15% off.
No matter what universe you're in, your Twig and Berries will always look good.
Well, think about Twig and Berries in the metaverse. You would look very good.
And everybody in the metaverse has a you know what on fleek. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Chuck, you might want to just make that the motto of Twig and Berries for the next 100 years.
Hardest worker of the week for our friends at TradesLink. If you don't know what TradesLink is, go give it a Google. It's a local thing, Edmonton. And it's basically like LinkedIn, but just for workers in the trades. It's got a ton of really, really cool features. I've talked about them all before. If you are interested, I urge you, go check out our friends at TradesLink. TradesLink, you can also find them on social media at GetTradesLink. Hardest worker from the Game Against Calgary. Who you guys got?
Well, it's quite obvious. It's he deserves it. It's Mikko Koskinen.
Who would have thought, hey? Who would have thought?
But,
well, Ken Holland or Peter Trelly or whoever it was.
Lack of working, yes. I guess. Hardest worker. He played above what he normally plays. He came in, he brought his lunch pail, and he went to work, and he did what it took for us to be able to beat the Flames. And I salute you, Mikko Koskinen, for all of your hard work, my friend.
He gave his team a chance to win on a night when they were heavily outshot. He made some huge saves down the stretch, and he did it all with the pressure of the entire planet on his shoulders. He's the obvious answer for this.
And that one save was a 5 alarm save.
On the 2-on-1.
Yeah, that was good. And I think he even said that was his best save in the NHL.
Really?
Huge save.
I read something. It was, I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said that.
Huge save. I was super happy for him, and I loved watching him sit there. Like I said earlier, awkwardly listening to Leon pump his tires. That was just a really wholesome moment, and I liked it. I enjoyed it.
I hope the boys, because I don't know what the rules are with them about how they can hang out or not, but enjoyed a few beverages in the dressing room to kind of just celebrate that and let it sink in a little bit.
In the metaverse, we could sit there with them.
That's fair.
Privy to the entire conversation.
We know it all.
Bag Milk, you want to know something cool I just looked up?
Yes.
Yesterday, you cracked the top 20 in Apple Podcasts for hockey podcasts in Canada.
Come on.
That's cool. I'm pretty excited about it, man. You sent me the stats before we started recording today. I'm pretty happy with the numbers so far and Better Late Than Never. People seem to be into the concept.
Does that mean it's bigger than this one?
No, it's not. It's not bigger in real life at all.
Are we in the top 20 then?
We don't get listed technically as a hockey podcast on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, we're like a fashion, lifestyle, blogging, metaverse podcast.
Yeah,
some
metaverse.
shit you can't change.
Mostly Bitcoin.
Yeah, we're too meta with our topics, so they can't chart us. We're unchartable.
We'd like to be exclusively about the Oilers, but the last 16 odd years we had to develop other interests.
Yeah, we talk about when we need to.
We come back to them.
ON Radio does well. ON Radio is actually, I hate to just give you guys all these accolades because your podcasts are crushing, but Owen Radio does very, very well.
Is it top 20?
It'll get up there when we drop a new episode. The Chartable site isn't like the most reliable thing in the world, but it is kind of cool when you see your podcast up there with some of the big ones. Yeah. We are the big ones now.
I think it shows that there's an appetite for a lot of podcasts in our network. And just as long as they're different flavors and provide kind of different angles that, people are going to listen to it. And I'm super pumped with the way mine's going because I just do it in my house and sometimes the audio sucks and I'm getting better. But that's what's also fun about this one because it's, again, completely different than the other ones.
And you're talking about groceries? What's this all about?
Yeah. So I don't know why, but I've become obsessed with the price of cheese lately. How when I was a little kid, I used to murder cheese and I still do. But as I got into be an adult and I have to buy cheese for myself, you realize how expensive this shit is. And how my dad would be like, stop snapping off chunks of cheese off the block and eating it like a caveman. I'd be like, no. But now that I buy it myself, I'm like, oh, I get what he's talking about. So what we're talking about things that are too expensive at the grocery store. We're talking about grocery store deals. Just we're trying to adult better. And
did you
a bunch of people that don't want to join in on it.
We talked about this last week, but Amber and I went grocery shopping yesterday and she wanted pepperoni sticks and Jesus Christ, we might not be able to pay rent.
Life. Yeah. They're life-changing price. Yeah.
It's
especially that's the turkey ones. If you're trying to keep it tight, they're even
exactly. Those babies are like 60 calories each
and they're tiny and you can just pop them like Tic Tacs. Like that's the problem. You can crush $25 of turkey pepperonis in an hour.
Holy fuck. I'll see you boys in the metaverse. I'm racing Lamborghinis against Nicki Minaj in 10 minutes.
Also, just while we're talking about podcast numbers, we had almost 500 people watch the last episode of Oilers Nation Radio, even though it's just the graphic. Like it's just the graphic for an
hour. Man, fuck. Can we start making this a video version?
We gotta get in the studio.
I'm in the studio right now. Look,
all alone
with Nicki Minaj in the metaverse.
Well, this green screen could show anything, of course.
You're not far away from the metaverse when you have a green screen behind you.
Also, I've been putting up videos of myself just talking on YouTube, doing pretty well. I did 5 assets the Oilers could use as trade bait. It's at 3,600 views, which is nice.
Wow.
And most viewed video by far for the last little while.
Yeah. And I got a new one that just went up today. 5 potential goalies the Oilers could acquire.
Was that with McKenna?
And it's with Mike McKenna. So if you want right now,
power.
Yep. Go to the Nation Network YouTube and give it a watch and hit the subscribe button. Because if we get to 2,000 subscribers, I don't know what I'll do. Also, if we get Daily Face Off up to 1,000 subscribers, I'll do something ridiculous.
Will you take something off your M-Chuck?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Winky, winky.
All right. So we've got something here. What can we get Tyler to do for 1,000 subscribers on DFO?
We need, I will honestly come up with something. If we get to 2,000 on YouTube on the Nation Network and 1,000 on Daily Face Off YouTube, I will do something. I don't even care.
A sensuous fan dance where you wave a fan in front of your eyes coquettishly.
Can we do a boudoir photo shoot?
Not the belly button one. That one would hurt too much and it's not worth it.
Belly button one? What?
Jay said I should get my belly button pierced. I said no.
That'd look good though.
So yeah, especially in the summer. Talk of the town.
There's got to
wear your nice little belly shirts you like. Show it off.
Anyways, I know people enjoy when I embarrass myself publicly or on the internet. So if you have ideas,
shave your head.
No, I don't think I could shave my head. My ears are too big for that.
Shave one eyebrow.
Oh my God. It may not grow back. You might get Christian Slatered.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
He shaved his eyebrows for a Halloween costume and they never grew back.
Oh, yeah, no, that's we would do that too.
They have to put them in prosthetically in certain shots in movies.
Well, I suggest then a boudoir shoot that we turn into a calendar for charity.
Oh, for 2,000 subs? That's pretty low bar.
Yeah, that's a low bar.
Yeah, but I would love to have one of those in my kitchen though.
What?
Every month I'd flip it over.
Okay, we got it because we got to get it because we get a good audio clip for this. We post it asking people to subscribe to both the Nation Network and Daily Face Off YouTube pages. I feel like we can move the needle, but what can we get young Tyler to do?
I don't know.
We should just do a prank on him and not tell him. Oh, he can hear me say this? Never mind. We should prank Tyler, sidebar. That's what people love. They love YouTube loves pranks. They love things popping out of shit. They love people running around the corner and slapping someone. It's basic human nature.
They also like people unpacking Lego. And
Yeah, they love it. Would you unpack a Lego set?
Yeah, I mean, I would do that definitely. I actually
Topless?
I said that the other day to not topless, but I said that the other day to the girlfriend. I was like, I think I would get into Lego. I think it's something that would like take my mind off my everyday stress.
Good God, it's just a thrill a minute at the Yaremchuk household. If you're not standing in front of a Bills game and crying, you're lamenting Lego.
I'm going to follow you on this, Tyler, because there's a documentary I love called 6 Days to Air about South Park and how they create an episode in 6 days. Mm-hmm. And when Trey Parker is writing the episodes, because he writes them all himself and has for 20 plus years now, when he's stuck, he puts together Lego and he finds it relaxing. So I think that's a good idea, Tyler. Where
do you watch this documentary?
You can watch it on YouTube. It's excellent.
Is it?
Wanya, you love it, actually.
6 days to air?
6 days to air.
It's been out for a while, right?
It's not new by any means. So yeah, 6 days to air. It's on YouTube for sure. It's 50 minutes, I think, Wanya. You'd love it, actually. It goes into how insane of a machine South Park is.
Like geez, yeah, that's impressive.
That is crazy.
What can we get your Yaremchuk to do? What can we get your?
I'll do like one of those polar plunges if we found somewhere safe.
How about we do a 24-hour stream in your apartment? For one weekend. God. And we can just all watch you for 24 hours.
Yeah, that's Metaverse.
It's very Big Brotherish.
Good. And then we prank them.
People love pranks.
People can send they can submit some money somehow, and we can just send random food items to your house so that you have to try them on live cam.
That'd be interesting.
Another thing, I see the firefighters do this to raise money. Maybe on the patio of one of our Airbnbs, you have to camp out on it for a weekend in the winter.
Oh,
when we know it's not minus 50.
Frosty.
When we know it's not.
When it's like a decent temp.
Or if there's something we can do with one of our partners, I'm sure there's got to be something, because they normally go on the roof of the fire hall and camp out there to I think it's for the food bank.
Yeah.
You live in the boardroom at Cornerstone Insurance for a weekend.
You can't leave.
Actually, you gotta spend a weekend inside of old Rexall.
Oh, cool.
With what, the Rat Kingdom that's probably taken over inside there?
With the Rat King.
Yes, that'd you have to document it. We'll give you a camera.
And like no lights. Like I have to live in the darkness.
Wearing a GoPro. And the only place you can go for sustenance is the Coliseum.
Yeah, you can only eat what you can find.
Just fire water through those beer lines, which are structural in the arena. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's only about 4% less depressing than watching a game in 1994.
All right, okay. Before we wrap things up, how great is it we got our Instagram back?
Oh,
we got 2 Instagrams back.
Canucks, I saw.
Tell the story, Jay. How'd you do it?
One more missing. Oh man. So it was 2 years ago, like February. It was when the Finns were here. It was like late January. It was late January. We got.
It was 2 years ago because I was in Mexico.
Yeah, Oilers Nation was suspended. Then we got it back for 24 hours, and then they took it away from us for some reason. So Instagram had some weird algorithm reset or relaunch, and all of a sudden, like 3 of our accounts went down, which was Canucks Army, Leafs Nation, and Oilers Nation. And Oilers Nation at the time had like 75,000 followers. So to lose that, that was mentally demoralizing.
All our sponsored post revenue went up in the air.
Well, yeah, like it, your sponsors like, oh, well, like now you're starting from zero, like, and that's part of kind of the deal. And we have to, and we totally empathize with them, but like, it just kind of caught us by so much surprise, and it stung, and everyone was determined to try to find a way to get it back. But the thing is when you go to appeal to try to get these back, you may as well be applying to the wall, because you're not talking to anyone. It's just all fill out this form, send this in, and it's all automated. No one has
a right to an Instagram account. It's a privilege, and Instagram really doesn't care.
Yeah, it's leased land or rented land that you operate on, so you have to be respectful of it. And we didn't do anything wrong, and thankfully this is why it got released. But we were on a mission to try to get the audience of someone at Facebook talk to, because the issue, like the backstory with us, is we're a content publisher. We write articles on OilersNation.com. I don't know if you know this, but crushed thousands and thousands of articles since 2007 on OilersNation.com and all the other Nation Network sites. So with that, we're in partnership with Facebook as a approved publisher, which is
they pay us to write.
which is such a weird dynamic that we can't talk to anyone because we had to like go through the process to get approved to write articles and have Facebook promote them. And then on the other hand, on the Instagram side of the fence, they suspended us. So we went and asked around a bunch of people. We were talking to people at the NHL. We were trying to talk to anyone we could to see if they can get us an audience with Facebook. And ultimately the answer was no, like they don't even have someone. And so we kept working some angles. And, you know, in November, we got acquired by Playmaker. And one of my first asks, because we're doing the deal and I don't want to say, hey, we have all these Instagram accounts that are suspended. Like, yes, we've talked about it, but it wasn't like, it's
buyer beware.
But here's the ones that we have now, and we've built up Oilers Nation, Nation ON, which we got to figure out how we're going to repurpose.
Put it back to Nation Gear where it originally was.
Maybe we should have a chat about that. We definitely could, but we've built up so many more followers on top of it that I feel like we got to serve them hockey content. So, anyways, that's a longer conversation. So first, November 3rd, deal closes with Playmaker. November 4th, Jay is on the phone with Playmaker saying, liberated. Do you know anyone? They're like, well, no. I'm like, oh my God, no one knows a person at Facebook. This is mind blowing. So anyways, being who they are, they've got really pretty robust networks and we're able to quickly get in touch with some people because Playmaker is a large content company. So they got the attention of Facebook. Next thing you know, I see an email loop go around and I'm having a call with 2 humans from Facebook.
What?
2.
I didn't even know they had phone numbers at Facebook.
And none of them, well, this is on Zoom. And it was untraceable. So I couldn't call them back. And these 2 guys had nothing to do, couldn't do my request. That was not their jurisdiction. And I'm like, oh my God, but we're talking about other stuff and whatever. But it was positive and they said, okay, we'll bring you, we'll take this to the content team, whatever they had to do. And then like a month goes by and I don't hear anything. I'm like, man, like I don't want to get my hopes up, but this doesn't sound so good. And all of a sudden I see an email ask me some like pretty specific questions. So I asked Bag Milk, but I didn't want to get him excited about what's going on. Cause I've been we've been trying this for 2 years. Well, sure as shit, we're in a meeting last week and Bag Milk's like, his phone starts blowing up. He's like, did Oilers Nation Instagram just come back? Because his email's linked to it. And bang, did it. So big thanks to Facebook for just
huge.
All they had to do was listen. They're like, oh yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, this is a mistake. Like
what?
Oh yeah.
You have ascended to the highest levels of society, sir. You're fucking talking on the phone to Facebook like bloody Norman Rockefeller. Well done.
But that's what's so silly. Like once you got in front of a human, they're like, oh yeah, no, not like this is, yeah, okay, this is not a problem. Like you didn't do anything wrong, just got flagged weird. But you just got to get to a person. So they fixed it right away. So thank you.
Mind-boggling.
Thank you, Playmaker, for
thank you, Playmaker.
Once again, like that goes to why we partnered with them because they were actually here to help us and they realized it was important, so they made it a priority. So
that's enormous help to us. Holy shit,
it really is. And let me tell you something else. Just doing the first couple of beat casts back on that account,
the numbers
have been excellent. The community is very engaged. It's just a completely different space. It's 5 times the size instantly.
That's what she said.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I jumped on the Florida one and it was like the viewership was insane.
It was popping.
I tried to get in on one and then you just wrapped up the beatcast and I didn't get on.
Well, it was almost midnight, Tyler.
Yeah.
Got shit to do.
But yeah.
By that I mean watch season 4 of Ozark.
You should do a beatcast after hours, Chuck.
Oh yeah, with a one-on-one interview. Yeah,
like a spicier version after Bag Milk goes to bed.
I don't do the spicy stuff well though, right? Like that's Bag Milk's thing. Like I only know how to keep it down the middle.
Maybe not after hours. After dark, perhaps.
Mm-mm. All right.
Shout out to David Alter for joining the Nation Network. That's
it's a great.
I think for the Playmaker, the hardest worker award or whatever it was. Playmaker for getting our social back. What up?
I just imagine they were emailing mark@facebook.com over and over again until it got back to us.
And you know what?
It's some other Mark that works there. Fuck off.
You know, it's funny and whatever. There's the speaking about like market, whatever, is that Jason Kenny on Twitter. There's a guy who's like his handle is @JasonKenny, and he just gets flogged with tweets all the time, but he's embraced it.
But he loves it.
Yeah, he embraced it, which is great. He's got like a crazy following now, but it's just all pissed off Albertans.
Hey, like an American guy who has nothing to do with politics.
Yeah.
He's like just as mad about it there. Yeah, it's great.
Is the name spelled the same or just slightly different?
Yeah, it's the same.
So good.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Is it good? How good is it?
Really, really good.
Pretty good.
Really, really
Is it
good.
Ozark season 4 good, Tyler? Because that is excellent. That
Have you
show
watched the
fucking
whole thing?
bangs.
Like,
I've never seen it.
Are you through it, Bag Milk?
I'm 5 episodes into the 4th season, and it is legit good.
Oh, I can't wait. I got to wrap up Succession just so Chalmers will stop yelling at me, and then I'll move on to Ozark. I can't wait.
Oh, it's the best show. I missed it so much.
Yeah, it's been on it's been a few years, eh?
Yep. Tyler, you get your fucking life in order.
Whoa.
Holy mackerel.
Hey, yo.
No, but you've got 4 seasons of this show you can watch.
Yeah, splurge on the pepperoni and start watching Ozark, okay?
Yep. That's where I'm going to let
Probably
you go,
not.
Tyler.
It's not really my flavor.
Pepperoni?
No.
Excellent content.
Ozark. Yeah.
Yeah, quality programming?
No, it's not really not really my thing. I like intentionally terrible TV.
Well, then you'll also love that there's season 3 of Too Hot to Handle is also on Netflix. Also excellent.
When
The
does
hell of a show.
When does Big Brother Canada come back?
Oh, are they doing another All-Stars for BB? Like
BB USA is doing Celebrity.
Yeah, I saw that.
Those are trash.
Yeah,
Who are
those
the
are,
celebrities, though? I didn't see the names.
Well, based on the last time I watched it, and it was like meta world peace and shit, I don't have high hopes for the.
All right. One day ago, rumored celebrity Big Brother cast list is wild.
Kodak Black.
Dang!
Oh.
That'd be unbelievable.
I'd watch that.
All right. How
Do they
many of
list
these
it?
names? How many of these names do you recognize? Alexa Penaviga,
Nothing.
Nope.
Curtis Stone, Aaron
Curtis
Brady,
Stock.
Hope Hicks, Jillian Michaels. Okay, I know her.
Hope Hicks. Isn't
I know
that
Hope
an
Hicks. That's a
American
soccer
Idol
player.
person?
Okay.
Oh.
Jerry Trainer, Lamar Odom,
Lamar Odom.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Heard
my
him in a while.
goodness.
Nene or Nene Leaks,
Oh, yeah. I know her. She's from Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Neo,
Neo, the singer?
Yeah.
You don't know
You're right,
Neil?
Chuck.
I know who that is. Yeah,
Unbelievable.
I just said the name weird. I know who that is.
Neo?
Todrick Hall, Tiffany Pollard, Sha'Carri Richardson.
Who's that?
Who's that?
She was the American runner who got suspended from the Olympics for smoking weed.
Oh.
Shangela.
Who's that?
Is that
I
2
don't know.
people?
Yeah.
That sounds like a couple.
Yeah.
Siamese twins.
That is a power couple.
And then Tyler Cameron.
Tyler
That-
Cameron.
Wow, it's not deep.
Yeah, unless it's James Cameron, I'm out.
Well, Neo, you were on fire there in the middle.
Yeah, Neo, I like.
Unbelievable. Lamar Odom. That'll be a circus.
Big Brother Canada has been tweeting out teasers of what their new set could look like. So it does look like a new Big Brother Canada is coming back at some point.
Oh, man. Like they actually have the renderings or are they actual set being built?
Yeah, they just like teased like some buckets of paint and some like blueprints, but it does say BB Can 10 coming in 2022.
Damn.
I still have the last season all PVR just in case I'm ever in dire need of a new show.
Fair enough. All right.
I still haven't watched Breaking Bad though, and I still haven't watched Game of Thrones. So I've got those as the ultimate 2 on my list that I haven't watched.
I couldn't conceive of how I could be more into a season than season 7. So I've kind of stepped back at the top. I checked out, but I suppose I can get back in for 10.
It's good.
Remember how before when everything kicked off, they were closing down BB to let people out of the house. Then the next year they were like locking them in for their own safety.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good times, eh, gang?
What a journey it's been.
What a life.
Okay, before we wrap up, a couple of important things I wanted to get off my chest here. The Vancouver Canucks, and I hope I don't butcher this name, but they hired a female assistant GM today, Emily Castonguay. I really hope I'm saying that right. I haven't had time since it broke here, obviously, to look up the proper pronunciation, but she did her first media avail there. So shout out to the Canucks, who not only hired Rachel Dory, who was working at Daily Faceoff, but now they've also hired a female assistant GM. So it's great to see what the Canucks are doing.
I dislike that the Canucks are making smart moves, though. Can I say that?
Right? Yeah, yeah, quickly too.
Yeah, they're making a lot of good moves, and I'm feeling upset about it as an Oilers fan.
Mm-hmm.
Patience, Bagmel. Just wait 5 more years.
Thank you.
It's part of a plan.
This is totally random, but the Buffalo Bills are signing Olaje Griffin to a 2-year contract as a futures deal. He's Warren G's son.
Come on. Unbelievable.
I like that.
Great move from the Bills. And then also, we got to talk about it because it was kind of the biggest thing in hockey over the weekend, but just days after a player in the American League was suspended 30 days for a racist incident.
Just fucking garbage.
Oh yeah. We had another one, and this time in the East Coast League involving Jordan Subban, PK's brother. And I think I can speak for all of us when I say we're fucking sick of it, and everyone should be sick of it. And it's great that this stuff is now getting called out and is not allowed to just sort of live in the ether of minor league
society
hockey.
Is headed in a better direction because the backlash to this is growing by the day, right?
Yeah. But anyways, we needed to add our voice to the choir of voices saying that there's enough of this shit in the world, and we definitely don't need it in hockey anymore. So that's where we are going to wrap up episode 348 of the Real Life Podcast. For all of our sponsors like Trades,
the Metaverse,
DoorDash, the Metaverse, sure, the HGA Group, and more. We'll be back on Thursday.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Real Life Podcast. Don't want to miss any of our nonsense? Hit the subscribe button and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram.